So welcome everybody, Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov Mevorach. I want to really start. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Rabbi Marc Soloway. I'm the rabbi here at Bonai Shalom on Main. And I want to start by welcoming all of you, and really especially welcoming Dr. Michael Kagan, who has essentially really just come in from Jerusalem just to be here for that. I mean, there's a couple of other, but really, if we're honest, he has come in from Jerusalem just to be here for this. Michael Kagan is the author of the piece that we're going to perform now. And I want you all to realize that we're not exaggerating. This literally is a world premiere in the sense that it's the first time that this piece, which was written really as a channeled piece that came through Michael, as a God's prayer to the three Abrahamic traditions, to Judaism, Islam, Christianity. And I'm not sure, and we'll hear afterwards, we'll have an opportunity to be in discussion with Michael afterwards. We can ask him specific probing questions about what that means, that it came through him, and what his intention may have been to do with the piece. But really I want to honor Pam, who really had the creative vision as soon as she read the piece to see it as a piece to be performed. And so we've been working on it for years. I mean, probably 12 hours of rehearsal a week for 3 years to get it to the place it's in tonight.
We win.
And it's a journey, and we invite you to really open your minds and your hearts to have the experience, and to allow the experience really to go inside you. And then at the end, we'll have an opportunity, as I said, to have a discussion about it. There are just a couple of things, and I really don't want to say much, but just some contextual things, because we do have visitors here, as we should, from other faith traditions and from no faith traditions, and certainly people who are not necessarily Jewish. So just a few very small notes about some of the language. One of the themes that we hear again is this resonance between dam, which means blood, and Adam, which is the human being, and Adama, which is the earth, which all have these two letters in common, the Daled and the Mem in the Hebrew language. So the blood and the human and the earth all connected together. It's probably important to know that, because you'll hear that in some of the language. And I think that's all I'm going to say.
כאשר שמע אותה שרה, הקימה לחורבן גן עדן. Jeremiah wept. Hearing her song, lamenting her temple so wounded. Alas, my forests are dying. I hear my waters crying. Have all the lessons been lost? Oh, that they were pure again. כאשר שמע אותה שרה, הקינה לחורבן גן עדן. Jeremiah wept, hearing her song, lamenting her temple so wounded. My precious forms of life that are no more, in silence live the children of the poor. Alas, why will they not feel their disgrace? That they were pure again.
Children of Adamah.
My creation cries out to me. It is in pain, and the pain is hurting. It bleeds. It is like a festering wound in me. The cry of the Adamah has reached my ears. The cry of the plants,
Of the insects.
Of the hunted species.
Of the forest,
of the plains,
Of the seas.
of the air.
I hear their cry.
Know this, children of Adamah, that you stand accused. What have you done?
The cry of the starving,
Of the maimed.
Of the abused,
Of the enslaved.
of the poor,
Of the helpless.
of the children,
Of the lonely.
of the poisoned.
Of the sick.
of the exploited.
Oi! What have you done?
My precious garden has been raped.
The rivers have been diverted.
The orchards plowed over.
The mountains dug through. O children of Adamah, do you think this is what I intended?
Do you think this brings me pleasure?
The smell of burning trees, the smell of burning flesh.
Do you not know how close these are to me? And yet you dare to offer them like sacrifices? How can you offer what is not yours? A stolen sacrifice is not acceptable.
Do you think I do not know?
Do you think I do not hear?
Do you think I do not feel?
Children of Adamah, I have given you so much knowledge about my ways. The claim of ignorance is unacceptable.
How many prophets will it take?
How many writings?
How many sages?
How many books?
How many martyrs?
How many saints?
How many teachers?
How many preachers?
How many miracles?
How much suffering?
You cannot pretend not to know.
You cannot pretend I never told you.
Children of Adamah, know this. If you disappear off the face of the planet, no one will grieve for you.
The birds will sing free.
The forests will grow back.
The seas will be renewed.
The fish will repopulate the seas.
Those creatures that you have enslaved will suffer, but that is the way of the enslaved.
No one, no thing will grieve your passing.
Do you hear that, O false kings and queens?
But I will cry. You are my partners.
I love you. If you fail, I fail.
But the world will live on. I have invested so much in you. I have parented you more than any other creature.
You are so frail. And you have so much potential.
My spirit is strong in you.
We have challenged each other and sparred with each other.
But you have forgotten your contract. You have forgotten your role.
You are my partner.
But I am your God.
Know, children of Adamah, that if the earth decides to vomit you out, I will not protest. I will not fight back.
But I will grieve for you as I grieve for you now. I will miss you as I miss you now.
Only you can stop this expulsion.
You must choose
Life
and death in your hands.
I cannot interfere anymore. I can only cry out a warning.
Hear and understand. Your freedom to do harm has never been greater.
Likewise, your freedom to do good has never been greater. Choose life.
You live by what-ifs.
What if we stop this? What then?
What if there's not enough? What then?
What if there is too much? What then?
What if we run out? What then?
What if I'm too weak? What then?
What if I can't? What then?
What if I fail? What then?
What if I succeed? What then?
What if I'm wrong? What then?
Enough!
There is enough.
Know that there is enough.
Know that you are already. You know enough.
Know that there is enough still of enough.
Know that I am the God of enough. I urge you, as one who loves you, to turn.
Turn and face the truth.
Turn and face those that you have hurt.
Turn and look them in the eye.
Turn and look yourself in the eye.
Turn and look me in the eye.
And see.
Children of Israel.
I turn my face to the children of Israel. O my children, my firstborn, you awoke to me first. You declared your faith so faithfully. You obey and hear. You keep my instructions. You study my Torah. For eons you have held fast. I have been with you through the fires and the beatings, through the narrow places.
Under the whip.
Under the boot.
Under the cross.
Under the stick.
Under the yoke.
I warned your fathers long ago that the road was long and painful, that it wouldn't be easy, that you would be tried, that you would suffer,
but that you are needed.
You have survived. You have been trained well. You have practiced well. You have made it through.
But it is not yet over.
You have kept my Sabbaths.
The secret of the Shabbat.
You have embraced her and protected her.
You have danced with her and loved her.
You have remembered her and celebrated her.
Indeed, you are noble and deserving of rest,
of Shabbat.
But the work is not yet done. It is not over yet.
You have been scorned and vilified. You have been segregated and marginalized. Thus, you have survived.
I have protected you from annihilation. I did not succumb to putting you out of your misery as you lay writhing in pain, for I knew that you would not die, could not die.
Now you are ready, even though the wounds are still unhealed.
Even though the scars are not yet closed.
Even though the spirit still suffers.
You must go on.
Now is the time for which you have been prepared. Do you think that it has been for nothing? Do you think I had forgotten? You have passed through the fires, and now is the time.
You are home, but there is no rest.
Oh, my poor and scattered children, you are so confused. But now is the time for clarity.
Oh, my burnt and scarred children, you are so angry. But now is the time for great compassion.
Oh, my battered and humiliated children, you are so aggressive. But now is the time for humility and love.
You live for Shabbat, my holy queen. Shabbat is love, loving and lover.
Shabbat is mercy, compassion, and love.
Shabbat is holy, holy, holy. Shabbat is holy people. The time has come to live the Shabbat.
Oh, holy people, the time has come to be the Shabbat.
Let go of your fear.
Let go of your hate.
Let go of your pain.
Let go of your revenge.
Let go of your aggression. You know, this is not why you are here. To be like this, to be like that. You must be other. You must stay in heart, in love, and in compassion.
You know the suffering. You know the fear. You know the hate.
Do not become corrupted now.
Do not become polluted now.
Do not forget now.
Do not abandon me now.
Your time has come. This is what it has all been for, the training, the learning, the discipline. Now listen and see.
Do you think it is a joke?
Do you think it is a coincidence?
Do you think it is a mistake?
No, I tell you, no. Your land is central. Your land is the bridge. Your land is the key. Your land is the east of the west.
The west of the east.
The north of the south.
The south of the north.
It is the middle. It is the upper of the lower. It is the lower of the upper. It is the middle.
This is the middle of the earth, the keystone, the linchpin, the center, the original seed, the vortex.
In the center of the center, it is calm. Be calm. Do not struggle, for as you struggle, the cords will tighten, and all will be lost.
Oh, my faithful children, know that my commandments have brought you here, but now even they can't help. You have grown and matured. You must not regress.
It is your common past and your destiny that must bring you together now.
Are you prepared to have died for nothing?
You hold a key. You must use it wisely.
Little children cannot wield such power and live.
It is in your hands now.
Be strong.
Be united.
Be wise.
Be mindful.
Remember, I have brought you through the dark places. Do not fall from the heights, for indeed you have been raised up. And to what end?
You must give your secret over. It is time to do so.
You must turn around and face the nations.
Not in hate,
Not in revenge, not in fear, nor in arrogance.
But in love, forgiveness, and compassion.
for what is the point if in the end there is only death?
Do you think that you will survive alone? When all of Adamah dies, that you will continue? That you are forever when all else is for never? That is arrogance and vanity.
I ask you, why are you here? Why have you been tested for so many years? To be like the enslaver?
The power hungry?
The corrupter?
The corrupted? Is that what you think? Is that what you wish? If so, you make a mockery of me. You make a mockery of the dead. You make fun of my Torah, and you are desecrators of my Sabbath.
Be courageous and strong of heart. The harvest is yet to come. You think it is over? It has just begun.
The hardest is to remember why you are here. I have appointed you to be in the middle. For a people of the middle way you shall be.
A priesthood.
A holy center.
A center of prayer.
A center of blessing.
A
center of peace.
Now hear this.
You have become arrogant.
You have forgotten.
The power has become corrupt. Power is corrupting you. Out of the depths of darkness you have arisen, but you are off.
You are no longer in your hearts.
You are no longer in your heads. By the sword art thou ruling. All that you have learned has passed like a cloud. You have been caught by the other side. The web was spun and you blindly fell in. You are worshipping false gods. You have forgotten the center. You have forgotten me.
Do you think that the land is more important? Do you think that security comes from the land?
You who have survived for 2,000 years without a land, do you now think that the land will keep you safe? Do you really want to test that theory? You have put my Torah to shame. You have put me to shame.
The land is here so that you can come back and fulfill the mission. You are not back to save the land. Who told you that?
Do you think that the land needs you?
The pollution.
The trash.
The wickedness?
The land, like an abandoned woman, waited. She was faithful. She waited for her lover to return. It took you so long.
But she waited, and you came back.
You caressed each other. You fertilized her. She responded, and it was good. It was very good.
But now she complains of abuse.
She cries rape.
She cries injustice.
She cries murder.
She cries incest.
Her breasts have been leveled. Her skin has been pit-holed with shells.
Those that kept her company while you were away have been cursed.
Her blood has been polluted, her vitality sapped,
Her bones weakened.
her hair cut and ripped.
She has been trampled on and abused.
She has been shown off in her nakedness for sport. Where is your love? Where is your appreciation? Would you do this to your lovers? Yes, I know you. Where are you? What have you learned? I need you now. And what are you doing?
Foolish people, do not tempt my patience. The land grows sicker as you grow haughtier. Are you doctors that you know the cure? She was your lover. Do not turn her into your enemy.
You who left the ways of your fathers to return to the land, you were indeed the holy workers. But where are you now? Why have you given up the noble quest? Where have you gone? Where are your ways of righteousness and devotion to good? Why do you not stand up against injustice? Why do you not practice good deeds? You have betrayed what your grandparents built for you.
I see your smirk, you who cover your heads with mock piety. What are you praying for? Do you think that I don't hear? You bury yourselves in self-righteousness. May it be your grave.
You search for my words, but you have forgotten the speaker. You search for the clues, but they're right under your noses. Are you blind? Has the study of my Torah turned you short-sighted?
Does it not say, love me with all your hearts? I do not feel your love. Do you think I need your love?
I need you to love.
Do you think I need your sacrifices?
I need
you.
I need you to give to the world. I need you to be there for others.
Do you think I take pleasure in your nepotism? Don't you understand? It's not about you. The whole world is my children.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Get up!
Get up!
You who lie crying in the valleys,
Go
sing in the mountains!
Throw off your darkness!
The queen is arriving.
Do you think that I plan another house? Who told you? I ask you, who told you? You answer, the prophets of old, and I say to you, take a measuring stick and measure the size of your hearts. How big are they? How wide? Are the gates open or are they tightly shut?
The healing waters will flow from your hearts.
They will turn the dead into life.
They will water the lands and feed the sick and heal the sick. You must pour forth in prayer, in song and in deeds, in my name.
Let the waters burst forth and flood the world in peace. The lower waters will be met by the higher waters, and I will be with you.
Do you think I will want your sacrifices? You sharpen your knives. You waste your gold. You look to the wrong mountain. You worship the wrong God.
You think that I am there,
You are still in exile.
and therefore there is no room for me.
Return, my children. Return to the mark. Be true to your father. Be honorable to your mother. We know of your suffering. But look how tall and handsome you are. How beautiful and regal you look.
You have grown and matured. You have faced the worst and survived. Now, you must forever throw away the toys of your childhood, the tools of survival, and be there for me.
Otherwise, what was it all for?
You died according to your own message, the message that I breathed into you.
I am the Lord of heaven and earth.
I am the breath.
I am the flesh, and I am the soul.
I am the father and I am the mother.
I am the son and I am the daughter.
I am the perfect one.
I am the forgiving one.
In you I dwelt as of old. In you even death was defied. I tended your wounds, and like my previous servant, even I, breathed the life back into you.
You lived, you walked, you taught. You proved that I am the creator of all life, that before me every knee must bow and every tongue must swear to my name, that my will can be your will.
You were my anointed one, chosen for this task.
You were my anointed one who agreed to this task.
You were my anointed one who lived for this task.
You are blessed, and from you my blessings spread.
So the whole message of the disciples.
This is the message of the return.
This is the message of the pain.
This is the message of the body.
This is the message of the blood.
What is it that you do not understand? It is my name, not your name, that saves.
You are my children, my servants. I sent you my beloved one, but you still refuse to change your ways.
You kneel, but you are haughty. You pray but for yourselves. You conquer but for gold. You spread the good news, but for your own satisfaction.
I am the Lord your God. It is I who save. It is I who redeem. It is I who make the bent straight. It is I who read your thoughts and feel your hearts.
Save my creation, not your souls.
How selfish you are. Awake! Awake! For the pestilence is coming. It is coming because you have called it forth. Repair your ways. Bow your heads.
Repent, says the Lord.
Return, says the Father.
Compassion, says the Son.
Love, says the daughter. Put aside your hate-filled heart. Open up your closed fists. Do as your Lord instructed you. Feed the poor. Clothe the naked. Love thine enemies. Destroy the swords. Transform death into life.
I have shown you the way, but you are like a child who knows better. I now call you in my name. Repent your ways. Turn and be accounted for. Give a reckoning of your sins.
Turn back to me, and I will turn back to you, and the pestilence will be halted.
Oh, my children, do not reject me again. Look around. My son was killed again. You did not hear? So he died for your sins again. Do you not see? Do you not understand?
The innocent of Israel died again, and the remnant of Israel lives again.
People of the cross, do not ignore my warning.
People of the book, do not forget.
People of the crescent, listen to the words of my prophet.
A triad of faith was formed, the three strands intertwined.
From the trunk, 3 great branches spread roots deep in the heavens.
Sap flowing from above, the light of my prophets from below, the holy tree restored.
A place for all to worship in its shade.
People of the prophet.
O people of the prophet, I gave you my names. I taught you the holy ways. I gave you wisdom to discern, to turn your backs on the old ways.
Children of the prophet, descendants of the one that hears me, and the one that I will hear.
You turned from the ways of your fathers. You turned to me and worshipped only me. I blessed you and gave you strength. Your enemies were scattered and my name was spread.
I showed you the moon, the milky crescent, mercy and righteousness, the teachings of my prophet. I blessed you and gave you wisdom, and my understanding passed through you. You were a shining army of Allah.
But you went too far. Oi, my children of the speaking place, you knew no bounds. I cried out to you, but your ears were stopped up with victory. The holy crescent became your scythe. Your swords turned red. Your hunger knew no bounds.
You spread the word further than anyone else. My name and my ways became known across the earth. You fulfilled your calling.
I was pleased with your obedience. I acknowledged your appreciation. In return for your prostrations, I blessed you in all your doings.
But you became caught by the temptation of your own success. You fell afoul of me. You fell, and the Satan caught you. Oi, I cry for your blindness and perversity. The branches of the holy tree are intertwined. They fight each other for the light. They compete for the juices of life. They poison each other and crush each other.
Why?
Why?
Why did you not stop? Did you think that my holy messenger would approve? You sat smug on your puffed up cushions. You enjoyed the power taken from the poor.
The multitude of my names have I put before you. The oneness of my being have you protected. The idols you have crushed. The images you have dispelled. But you have made an idol of my no image.
You have grown arrogant in your oneness. You have become proud in your obedience.
Followers of the message, followers of the messenger, I call upon you to heed this message. Release the bound, free the enslaved, make jihad against unholy extremes. Temper yourselves and put down the sword. The infidels are no longer.
Only brothers and sisters remain.
Open your hearts and see. Open your eyes and understand. The world needs you.
But not for your rage.
Not for your self-righteousness.
Not for your hatred.
Not for your violence.
Not for your conquests. The world needs you for your sincerity, for your strength of conviction,
For the wisdom of your sages.
For the love of your poetry.
for the clarity of your vision,
For the humility of your being.
for the words of my prophet.
Do not let the name of the prophet become a curse.
Do not let the Holy Quran become a derision.
Do not let the sublime declaration of my oneness become a source of fear and loathing amongst the nations. That is not my way. That is not my will.
Remember Islam as salam, peace.
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem is the trunk. You three are bound together. Jerusalem is the core you three share. If you fight over Jerusalem, you fight over me. If you fight over me, you fight over my will. If you fight over my will, you lose.
Jerusalem is the secret.
Jerusalem is the soul.
Jerusalem is the chosen one.
Jerusalem of Abraham, father.
Jerusalem of Jesus, son.
Jerusalem of Muhammad, the holy messenger.
The tree must blossom, the fruit must grow. The bounty must ripen and be picked for all to eat.
Listen, my children. Listen. The time has come. I have nursed you and watched you grow. I have held your hand as you made your first steps.
I taught you your first words and guided you on your way. I withdrew to give you room and allowed you to grow and mature.
I gave you my promise. I gave you my name.
You squandered much, but you never lost it all. You held on to the secret cash. I have watched as you made your mistakes, as you went down wrong paths. I anxiously awaited the day of your maturation.
Hear, O peoples of my name, the time is now. Whether you agree or not, whether you are ready or not, I have prepared you for this moment.
Like jealous siblings, you squabble over my love. Like small-minded tyrants, you hold on to your power.
Don't you know by now? Don't you realize? I am the Lord of power. I am the keeper of abundance. It is not yours to keep. It is not yours to squander. It is not yours to own.
For I have allotted each of you your due, to give and to share, to heal and to cure,
To glorify my name.
You are fighting the same fight, defending the same cause.
You are all on the same side.
That is the truth.
You, the biggest of my children, you have hurt my firstborn immeasurably.
You, the next biggest, you too have taken up the unholy task.
And you, the eldest of them, you revenge yourselves on the weakest.
This must end now.
My children must not hurt each other. No, those of you that have ears to hear, eyes to see, and hearts to feel, know that the storms of war are gathering again. Brother against brother, sister against sister, Cain against Abel, power against power, might against might, sword against sword.
They are amassing their forces, and Jerusalem is the center. The children of my son against the children of my prophet, with the children of Israel in the middle. The children of Abraham, the blesser of blessing, will fight again. They will fight over me. They will fight in the name of the Father.
Children, enough! This is not my wish! This is not my way!
Listen, O rebellious ones. I blessed you with the ways of peace, and I cursed you with the ways of war.
Listen, those that can still hear the words of the Lord. Teach your people. Tell them of the errors of their ways. Pray for peace. Work for righteousness. End the hatred, the bigotry, the self-glory.
Be humble in all your ways. Do not fear each other, for the peacemaker shall be blessed.
Dissolve the barriers. Join hands as brothers and sisters.
Unite your voices. Pray in your tongues to the God of mercy and peace.
Show me that you care. Prove that you understand. Demonstrate that your home is precious.
Know and understand.
The holiness has spread like oil over water. The holiness of the Holy of Holies, focused in the heart of hearts, anchored to the rock of redemption, where my son Abraham worshipped and offered.
Where my son Jesus worshipped and died.
Where my son Muhammad worshipped and ascended.
Where my sons, the high priests, worshipped and sacrificed.
My holy house, where my presence was most strong and spread like light from the source.
Like sound from the speaker.
To my holy city, where peace will be seen.
To my holy land of sustenance and sweetness.
And from there to encompass the whole Adamah.
Poison causes vomiting.
Pollution causes disease.
Impurity causes discomfort.
Immorality causes sickness.
Forgetting causes death.
The land is sensitive.
All of the Adamah has been sensitized.
It feels the poison entering its stomach.
It can no longer tolerate the pollution, The levels of impurity threaten its balance.
So much immorality damages its defenses. The shadow of darkness creeps closer.
You, man, vomit out your poison and let the healing come.
Spew out your poison and let there be a rest.
For
this earth is holy as I am holy.
A new time.
Listen, children of Adamah, and be aware. I bring before you a new time, a new stage, a new covenant, a new path, a new story, a new beginning, a new continuation from an old message.
As a seed in the womb becomes a form, and the form becomes a fish, and a fish becomes a creeper, and the creeper becomes a likeness of Adam, and a born one becomes a child, and the child becomes a youth, and the youth forgets his way and wanders off far away to lose his innocence and lose his awareness.
And the youth becomes an adult, and the adult struggles in the dark. It dies in loneliness and ignorance, unless she turns to the light. And in the light, the adult matures into a human, awakened and discerning,
Joyful and in wonderment,
close and in love,
Prayerful and playful.
enlightened and light.
in the presence and present. So it is for all of time, from the beginning until now, from the single creatures to the upright ones, the sea creatures to the slithering creatures, from the egg layers to the milk givers, from the four-legged to the upright ones, from the small-minded to the large-minded, from the dumb to the Adam with the word in his mouth.
from those that lived with me in the garden of my creation, knowing me through the ways of the Adamah. And he knew his place amongst the creatures, and it came time to grow up. For I want more from my children.
And his mind expanded and awareness grew. And he wanted more and more and more. And he turned his back on the old ways and searched for himself by himself.
And the previous way was killed and buried in the Adamah.
And Adam turned upon the Adamah to fight it.
And he grew and spread and conquered and destroyed and planted and reaped and watered and became populous upon the face of the Adamah. And Adam turned his back upon me and showed me not his face, but forgot me. And I called out, but was ignored. My child left me to grow up.
But I too planted a seed amongst my youthful children, a gift for them to turn to when they completed their youthful life and matured to men and women.
When these men and women, my children, would be ready to return home to the house of their father, to the house of their mother, then they would look at the gift of the tree that I planted amongst them in their youth, and the fruit of the tree would bring them remembrance of the way home, of the way back to me, of the way forwards, back to me.
And they shall wipe the dam, the blood from their hands, and they shall turn Adam to Adamah, Isha to Aish, woman to fire, and face each other once again.
And the need to conquer And the desire for more and more.
And the fear.
And the loneliness.
And the anxiety.
And the suffering.
And the torment.
And the waste.
And the vanity.
And the selfishness.
And the hatred.
And the succession.
And the dominance.
And the triumphalism
shall end. And all the knowledge, and all the experience, and all the wealth,
and all the skills, and all the inventiveness,
and all the strength, and all the power,
and all the creativity will be turned for good, and for goodness, and for kindness.
And all the taking shall be turned into giving, and all the poor shall be fed.
And all the homeless shall find shelter, and all the sick shall find health, and all the weary shall find rest.
And all the lionish shall cease to torment the sheepish, and the sheepish shall cease to fear the lionish.
And the hands of the innocent shall be safe, and the snake shall tempt no more.
And the weapons of death shall be turned to life, for the children will have become humans.
And the humans will be like children, knowing between good and evil, discerning between truth and falsehood.
And the hearts of my children will turn to me, and my heart will turn to my children. And joy will fill the land, and Adamah will rest in joy.
I declare throughout the land a new time, a new era, a new epoch. Many have heard, many are aroused. The Holy Queen is returning. She is searching for pure hearts in whom to settle.
This is the time for a new song, a new breath.
Look around and see. Is it not clear? A new gate has opened. It beckons you in.
The body is healing. The whole becomes unified, and organs are recovering and cooperating. Strength to the body whole.
But a darkness of reinfection gathers in the blood. The undercurrents of hate and fear are regathering, regrouping, reorganizing.
Their shadow once again threatens the sanctity of Adam and Adamah.
They begin to turn their plows into swords and the minerals of Adamah into explosives.
Widows will be made from the loss of husbands.
Orphans will be made by the loss of parents.
Cripples will be made by the loss of limbs.
Graves will be made by the loss of life.
It has started.
It can be stopped.
Listen to the word of the Lord. It can be stopped. The great war machines of my children, the offspring of my servant Abraham, the man of loving kindness, you prepare for battle again.
The children of Jesus, the children of the prophet, your enmity stinks to the heavens. Your cries of revenge are heard in hell. Your wounded pride shakes the land. Your self-righteousness rings empty in my ear.
The children of Israel are caught in the middle again. Children, this is not the way. This is not the way of your fathers. This is not the way of your prophets. This is not the way of your hearts.
This is the shadow of the dark side. This is the deceiver and the manipulator. Do not be deceived.
Do not be manipulated.
Pull back, you three, from the edge, for it will be the edge of all of you. There is no final battle except for the final battle, after which there will be nothing. Is that the way?
Is that the teaching?
Is that the sacrifice?
Is that the message?
Is that the Torah?
Is that the gospel?
Is that the Quran?
Is that the instruction?
I say to you, no.
And Abraham stands forth and says no.
And Israel stands forth and says no.
And Moses stands forth and says no.
And Elijah stands forth and says no.
And David stands forth and says no.
And all the sages stand forth and say no.
And Jesus stands forth and says no.
And Paul stands forth and says no.
And the apostles stand forth and say no.
And the prophet stands forth and says no.
And the companions of the prophet stand forth and say no.
And all the wise and all the humble and all those filled with my Holy Spirit stand forth and say no.
A new gate has opened, and it is not a gate of war.
Do not turn your backs on this gate, for it stands open for you. It is a new gate, a gate of cooperation, a gate of sharing,
A gate of giving.
A gate of resting.
A gate of peace.
a gate of plenty,
A gate of purpose.
A gate of repair.
A gate of healing.
a gate of hope,
The body whole.
O peoples of Adamah, you are part of earth's body, for from the dust you were shaped.
You are part of heaven's spirit, for I breathed into you my breath. You are one and united.
You are the children of the Adamah.
You are brothers in purpose.
You are sisters indeed. You are all parts of the whole.
As a body has organs, so you people are as organs, vital to the body's vitality.
As a body has cells, so each person is as a cell.
and as each cell has identical knowledge, so know that each person has identical spirit.
Thus, the body whole, the body of Israel, Knesset Yisrael,
The body of Christ, the church.
The body of Islam, the Ummah,
each according to its abilities.
each according to its mission.
Each according to its purpose.
Each according to its Torah, Scripture, Quran.
The peoples of the east, west, north, south.
All ways are the ways of the living God, if all the ways are the ways of peace.
Adam, Adamah, Dam, human, earth, blood. For the soul is in the blood, and the blood unites the organs, and the blood vitalizes the body, for the blood is the messenger, the carrier, the healer, the fire.
For the Spirit is in the blood.
Strengthen yourself, O cells, and you will strengthen your people, your organ. Strengthen your people, and you will strengthen your world body, for each is a reflection of the other. Eat, drink, know.
Move, sleep, work.
Play, breathe, learn in health.
Reflect the image of all life. For as your body suffers, so my image suffers. For I created you perfect.
Guard and sanctify the gift of life that I have given you. Guard and sanctify the place of meeting between Shamayim and Haaretz. For I created the heavens and the earth and planted them in you. For the spirit flows in the Adamah, and the body gives form to the soul.
This is my gift to you. And this is your gift back to me.
So below as above, the waters that flow from the garden are the dam, the blood of the world. For in them is the spirit and the vitality of life.
And the air is my breath, the ruach of life.
Children of Abraham, you are my holy messengers. Hand over your messages. Place them into the bloodstream. Let them be carried to all the parts.
Let them heal. Let them cure. Let each organ absorb what it needs. Let the poisons be released. Let them be washed out of the body.
Let there be regeneration. Let the cells grow anew. Let the cancer be terminated. Let the repair begin.
Each of you is a messenger. Each of you is ill.
Each of you must give, and each of you must receive.
Each of you must heal, and each of you must be healed.
There is no exception. No higher, no lower, no better, no worse.
Know this, for should this world cease, then you all cease. For should this world vomit, then you will all be vomited.
For should this world fall, then you all will fall.
Do not think that you are better. Do not think that you will be spared. Do not think that I love you more. Do not think that you are more righteous, for when the body is infected, all parts suffer. And when the body dies, only the virus survives.
I say unto you, keepers of the light, let go of your arrogance. Let go of your deceit. Let go of your lies.
Let go of your misdeeds. Let go of your superiority. Let go of your victimizing.
Let go of your victimhood. Let go of your jealousies. Let go of your hates. Let go of your rivalries.
For you
are all my beloved children.
The work is great.
And the time is short.
The need is demanding.
And the pain is overwhelming. The cries are deafening.
And the injustice is mountainous.
The light is dark.
The way is blurred.
The voice is dimmed.
And the hope is lost. And the spirit has faded.
And the Master is urging. Daughters of life.
I
turn my eyes to the sons of Adam
and the daughters of Eve.
O daughters of life, your time has come. The earth calls out to you. The children turn their eyes to you in hope.
The waters cry to you for refreshing. The air gasps to you for purifying.
O daughters of life, prepare yourselves, for your hour has come.
Too long have you been kept in silence. Too long have you remained quiet. Too long have you been suppressed.
O daughters of life, you are the bearers of the wisdom.
O daughters of life, you are pregnant with change. You feel my presence.
You dance with her flow.
You sing with her glory.
You are filled with her desire.
The queen returns, and the maids prepare.
Sisters, awaken.
For the eons of imbalance are ending.
For the pain and suffering are over.
For the abuse and scorn will be no more.
For the oppression and suppression is lifting.
Show yourselves in majestic splendor.
The strength and the compassion.
The softness and the determination.
The wisdom and the intuition.
The knowing and the flowing.
The possessors of unwritten writings. The bearers of words once spoken, of truths once known, of righteousness once practiced.
You who bear the pain of life. It is you who will rebalance the harmony of life.
You who suckle the newly born, it is you who must now give to rebirth.
For the milk of your breasts is the white of compassion.
Is the love of life.
Is the food of the Spirit.
Is the elixir of healing.
Is the wine of the Queen.
O sons of Adam, stand aside. Your damage is deep.
Your arrogance is pervasive, your vision is blurred.
Stand aside and give honor.
Stand aside and give respect.
Stand aside and give service.
Stand aside and give
For
ear.
the time has come for the moon to shine.
For the Queen to
For the
arise.
sisters to unite.
For the healing to begin.
Stand aside, sons of Adam, so that the renewal may begin. So that the moon may glow as brightly as the sun in the sky.
Make room so that two become one. So that balance may be restored. So that male and female may rule together. As king and queen below, so king and queen above.
Listen to the voice of your sister.
Listen to the guidance of your sweet love.
Listen to the advice of your mother.
Listen to the sound of living spirit.
For they know what you don't know, and they understand what you don't understand.
And they see what you are blind to, and they hear what you are deaf to.
O daughters of life and sons of blood, your children call to you for a future.
What is it that I ask of you? I send you my dearest, and you reject them. I say to you, listen to the words of my messengers, and change your ways.
You stand at the brink. There are two paths ahead.
Choose life.
Choose life. My holy Shabbat Queen, established before time itself, awaits you.
The holy Sabbath of peace and harmony.
The holy Sabbath of contentment and equality.
The holy Sabbath of abundance and sharing.
The great Shabbat of holy awareness.
For
I am your creator, and the earth and all its beings are mine.
Let go.
Stop the struggle.
Choose life.
In love I gave you this world.
In love I gave you the sky.
In love I gave you the seas.
In love, I gave you the land.
In love I gave you the plants and the trees.
In love, I gave you the birds and the insects.
In love I gave you the reptiles and the mammals.
In love I gave you the hands and the feet.
See and feel my love flow through all these things.
Open your heart to my love all around.
Be enwrapped by my caring.
Now,
Love back.
פחות תבכה בלילה, ודמעתה על לחייה, אין לה מנחם מכל אוהביה. In the night she weeps and weeps, longing for her lovers who so seldom come to comfort her. Ashivenu nishmat haneshamot elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu ke'eden. Bring us back to you, O soul of souls. Spark us to turn that we may be seen. Mending this temple, our Eden. Mending this temple, our Eden. Mending this temple, our Eden.
Jack, who composed original music for tonight.
And Richard Kaplan, who's not here, who sang the intro and the closing and created that.
Should we breathe and stretch for a minute? Go straight now, okay. If you need to stretch, let's not leave the room unless you need a bio break. But you're shocked. I am shocked. So I think a great place to start, because I just heard our wonderful friend and author here just say, I'm shocked. So I think a good place to start before we open it up might be to ask Michael for his reactions, having heard this performed and read for the first time ever in the history of the world.
I am shocked. And I'll explain why. When I write, and I write poetry, and I write prose, I write stories, I write comedy. For other people who write, these are my words, and I ponder over every word, and I change words and sentence structure and move things around and try to find the balance in what I'm trying to say, to express myself as fully as I would like to do. But when it came to this, God's Prayer, they're not my words. I recognize some of my thoughts, and people who've learned with me can recognize some teachings there, but I don't recognize the words too well. It poured through me in 3 days. In the introduction to the book, I describe how one day my wife was, I think, coming to America to here probably for a conference, and the children were all at school, and I'm at home alone, and I'm doing my ritual prayer in the morning, and a voice came to me and said, find the paper, find a pen, and start writing. And after a lot of struggle and protest, I succumbed. and I wrote for 3 days. I took what I'd written and scrawled, and then typed it into the computer, tried to tidy it a little bit, but it's unedited. And I did not recognize the words too well. I couldn't have then told someone, this is what I wrote today. It was and then I sent it very tentatively out to a few friends, someone in Germany, someone in Mexico. I sent it to my sheikh in Jerusalem. And they all had the same reaction, to immediately translate that into their language. And it was immediately translated into Spanish and immediately translated into Arabic. Sent it to someone, another friend of mine, translated into Hebrew, into German. In fact, it came out, published first in Germany. In May, it was published in Germany. So hearing it now, read, performed so beautifully, and I really thank you. It was hearing it for the first time as a very, very powerful message. I couldn't say, this is mine and thank you for the applause. The applause was not deserving. I was just the hand, but the message is so powerful. And you did so well. Thank you.
Well, maybe before we open it, I'm wondering if any of I mean, I don't right now, but whether Jan or Charna or Pam or Jack, who've been kind of living with this in a certain way for a while, have any questions of Michael, and if not, we can just open it to comments and questions from everybody else. We'll have a discussion for a few minutes and then break. Do any of you?
I'd just like to say, I have a comment. I first read this in October when I met you in Jerusalem, and was very moved by it, in part because so many of these sentiments I have been hearing myself, and I think for me as powerful, profound, and difficult as the message is, this simplicity of the solution is something I can't say enough, that sense of loving, and loving being that ultimate message. And when all else fails, no matter how complex or difficult or confusing things get, remembering that and holding it in the body whole is, it's really a positive message, ironically, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful to have, I'm so moved by it, to have the opportunity to speak it in front of so many people that I love so dearly and that I trust so much.
You sent this to me 5 years ago, and right away I sent you back an email saying this is a choral poem. It has to be read out loud, and it didn't feel like the right time 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago, wasn't it? It just didn't feel like people would be open to it, and somehow now felt like the right time.
So I do need to confess something.
It's a good season.
Yes, good season. As you know, tonight, or maybe you don't know, but tonight we start the traditional saying of slichot prayers, forgiveness prayers, leading up to Rosh Hashanah, leading up to Yom Kippur. So my confession and my desire for forgiveness is that when this message came through me, I hid it and did not share it, except amongst the very few people.
But you didn't say who it was. You didn't say who it was.
What?
It was Godel.
Ah, okay. Well, no. So I did not share it, even though the last part of the message, the last words, not written in the book, was, now take this message and send it out. I didn't. And in that I failed. It took me a long time to build up the courage to do that. I resisted it. Whose name am I going to put on a book? God. It was difficult. The message is difficult. So I didn't, and I kept it hidden. I literally forgot about it for quite a few years, until I was at a conference of Jews and Palestinians in Zurich, an interfaith. It wasn't interfaith. It was a peacemaking conference, Palestinians and Jews, and somebody read a poem that they had written, which was obviously not theirs, that had come through them. And I said, oh, I have something like that on my hard drive. And then I searched and I found it. And I showed it to this person and I said, is this for real? And she read it through and she said, yes. What are you doing? What are you hiding it for? You've got to do something. And she was the one who then sent it to someone else, who sent it to someone else who works at a German publisher, Hürder Verlag, and which is a very old established publishing house in Germany that publishes I guess religious books, Dalai Lama books, anything to do with spirit and religion. And they immediately phoned and said, can we have the rights to translate it and to publish it? And there it just it rolled on to it's being published by Gaon publishers. It had published another book of mine that I edited works of Reb Zalman. Reb Zalman's Sacred Poetry was published by them, and another book on Chassidut has been published by them. So I want to thank Ron Hart for having the courage to publish such a book.
And we have the books.
We do.
We have the books to sell
During the
if
break,
anyone
we
wants
give
to
them
sell buy some in the break. So even though I, through my, for whatever reason, did not get the book out when perhaps it was ready to come out, now is the time. And the only way that this message will gain momentum is by you. There's YouTube, and we'll hopefully have permission to put this on YouTube. And that's the only way, is to snowball this, and for you to share it in whichever way you share things in the world today. And Sefer HaPartzufim is a great way of doing this, the Book of Faces, or Facebook. But it's serious. I live in Israel. I don't get to America often. I don't see traveling from city to city doing book launches. It's you will have to do that if this resonates with you, is to launch the book. And that's a responsibility for all of us, I think, if you're ready for that.
What was it like living in the whale for 5 years? And with any luck, your story will end up with the same happy ending of the city being saved, and so we can hope for a good ending.
What was it like? In spite of the Jeremiah flavor of the book, it is a book of God's prayer of hope. I am an optimist, but through receiving the book, I have felt the suffering for a long time. I think people here, especially people in Boulder who I lived here for 2 years, are very attuned to the welfare of the world. There is the feeling of the pain. But I am an optimist, and it's not just the message of love, because that is the underlying structure of the whole prayer. Is this tremendous love by Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, for His creation. But there is this surprising twist, which is that it's in our religions that the secret lies. And I think the tendency has been for many, many years to give up on religion, to say that these are cause of all the problems, we don't need that now. Let's turn to another form, a secular religion, a new religion. And the message is, no, it's the old religions. That's why they're old, then that's why they're still here. There lies within them the secrets for our redemption. So not to abandon the old ways, but to find the new ways within the old ways. And I found that a very uplifting message, and a message that supports my own way and my own teachings.
Yocheved.
Yes. The work resonates very much. I consider it a work of prophecy. And I study sustainability. And I also am a Kohenet. And so I see this as the foretelling of the end of the patriarchy. And I agree with you that I appreciate what you just said, that it doesn't mean getting rid of the old, that the seeds, that it's within the branches and the roots already, and that the moon is time to shine, and that the balance and that the awakening, the answer, the release of the love is part of the breaking down and the release of the intense hold of the patriarchy on these ancient roots. So, thank you.
There was something, I just want to add something to what you said. The parsha that we read, the piece of the Bible that we read today, contains the last of the mitzvot, the last commandment, which is the command of the first fruit. And so I hear in what you're saying that here is the tree, and now comes the fruit. The tree had to be planted, had to sprout, had to grow, had to create the branches, the leaves, the chlorophyll, the photosynthesis, the reaching for the light, and finally it's ready to give its first fruit, so that we can all enjoy it.
Sorry.
No, that's...
No, I'm interested because actually, when I first read this, I mean, there were bits of it that really triggered me and I found very challenging and very painful. I think it's a remarkable piece, and I really feel privileged to have been part of this tonight. But I'm just wondering if anyone had any strong negative reactions or visceral reactions about any of it. That's because some of it's hard to hear, I think. I mean, for, some of us who are traditionally minded Jewish, Jews, there's a big challenge in some of these words. Did anyone have any? No?
Come on.
I guess the people who would have done chose not to come because they knew they would anyway, and they didn't want to be in that position of discomfort. Fair enough.
I was very discomforted.
Well.
No, I found it the critique of Judaism, the critique of Christianity, the critique of Islam, is very harsh. I think that's how it is. It's built to create a discomfort. Again, coincidentally, that was the parsha that we just read, the Tochachot. You will be discomforted.
Chovav, you look pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree with what Michael was saying. I felt this kind of very like a deep defensiveness.
Yeah.
When Judaism was criticized, when the other religions were criticized, it's kind of very instinctive kind of locking up of the body and of a certain anger. And I found it upsetting that I felt that way. And I mean, I know it's a natural reaction, but I think just the fact that it's such a human, deep-rooted thing is going to make it a very I think people know it's a very challenging message to get out there. Because it's true and because it hurts, but kind of feeling that in myself made it upsetting. Kind of realizing the weight of the message, this type of message, and how much it cuts against what people want to hear, what I want to hear, and I think what a lot of people want to hear in daily life, and that just adds to the challenge of it.
Right, because it's hard to read it without, I find it hard to read without seeing myself in the critique. I call it patriarchy, call it, but I'm like deeply in the center of that as a conservative rabbi, whatever it is, a male rabbi. But it is so. And also my absolute love of Israel and the very harsh critique of Israel as being like we've really lost whatever that means. We've become way too attached to the land rather than the concept of what the land is about. I mean that piece of it too is very, very hard when I first read that.
Yeah, it also really hurt as an Israeli. I don't know if that. As someone that lives in Jerusalem, I mean, we're in, it just hurts to hear it, and it's true, which is why it hurts. But as someone that lives in Jerusalem and lives in Israel knows, that I sin in my relationship to the land as much as anyone else, and how I grasp it, and how I consider mine, and and that hurts. And that's a very hard thing to hear, and I'm not even close to, and I felt it, I'm not even close to being in being of the mind and of the heart that peace would want me to be. The peace requires me to be a certain person and asks me to be a certain person and to be in a certain place and have an open heart and open mind. I felt how far I am from that, and that was just hard for me to sit with myself for an hour and feel that I'm really not there. As a Jew and as an Israeli and as a person that has a relationship to the land and to the world and to other people, I'm not close. And this is a season of tshuva, but it's good. It's good to be shooken up and challenged to work on these things, but it still hurts.
God, it hurts. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
God, it hurts.
Right.
Gonna hand that back later.
Oh, sorry, Ruth.
I feel particularly pounded.
Pounded.
And I
when I think of how it must have happened for Jeremiah or for Isaiah, I think must have been about the same kind of thing. Take up the pen and write, and it comes through your filter, but and that's good, because your filter is not only in the past, it's very much in the present. And the voices of other people who have brought us to a greater awareness of what it means to be inseparable from everything else that happens on the planet. That's very important that you became a mouthpiece for that. And you were sitting next to me and I was whispering to Ishmael when you came about takers and leavers, as it were. And all this came and spoke through you, and that's wonderful. Because the thing that I felt was such a compassion, such a rachmanis, a pity for God. Came so strongly through. Oh yeah, I created all the oils that came out. It was real. It was real because there is an ache, and the planet is hurting, and the need to do the healing work of that, and to dislodge the self-seeking that we have, and to be able to say we have the service of that which is larger and greater. That's wonderful, so thank you so much.
I'm feeling this sense of...
Sharon has been for a long time.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
First of all, thank you very much for opening yourself to be the vehicle. That takes tremendous courage. And for the 4 and 5 of you in performing this and sharing this. The challenge for me is then how to take this forward. And it talks about love and opening the heart, and it's how to open your heart with all of the pain that there is, and the challenge of doing that and loving and not being swallowed by all that's out there. I don't know how to do that, and hopefully we all do that together.
As something of an outsider in this community, and not being a doctrinal adherent of any of the 3 great religions to which you have gestured here, I would like, as respectfully as I can, to urge you not to underestimate the power of what you have brought forth. As a simple man, I can tell you very clearly that this spoke to my condition. And I believe that it spoke to the condition of all humankind and needs to be brought in a way, it's calling, I believe, to be brought in a way to the people of the lotus and the people of the elephant and the people of the Native American ways, hundreds of them, and on and on and on. You speak of the land. I can tell you that there are many people who are as devoted to their land as people here are to the state of Israel. I can also say that there are many people who feel the call to their original instructions, just as you have gestured to your original instructions. Those original instructions live in the hearts of every single human being, whether we honor it, recognize it, or not. So don't be shy. Bring forth what you have. In love, just as you have said, and forgiveness, just as you have said, open-heartedness, just as you have said, and generosity, just as you have said.
Yes.
The words that stood out to me the most in your readings were enough. That there is enough fear, there is enough love, there is enough hate, there is enough land, There is enough air. There is enough sky. There is enough wanting. There's enough. So whatever your thought process is, there's enough. So just move forward in enough. And don't look back. Because there is enough.
I'd like to add a little bit to the thought. So as we were all experiencing that, questions came up, and sort of like the question of, well, what's in the way? There's all these pleading. It's like endless pleas. And it's like, well, what's in the way? And first thing that came to me very strongly is just to wake up the heart. But I'm also very present to, we don't wake up our hearts through our minds. And I believe that the way we come to our hearts, the home in us that we would call our heart, we come through silence. And the mind is in the way. So it's a little bit of a trick because we're using words. So I say that one thing we can do, if we can find the silence and the light in us through that, is to be an example, to shine through to be lights. And this doesn't have to be with words. It'll come through. It's really deep. It's deeper light. And I think that's really what you're talking about.
So I'm feeling like I want to respect the timing, which has already gone a little off. But I want to just say, I want to really thank everybody and thank all of you for your openness, and of course thank Mike for bringing it through. I want to really invite everybody who wants to, regardless of whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, in the vein of this piece, if please feel invited to stay for our Slichot service if you would like to. We'll try and really take like just a 15-minute break now. There's some food, some refreshments downstairs. There'll be an opportunity to buy the book, which Charna is going to arrange. And then I would really like to, I have no idea what time it is. What time is it?
At 18.
I would really like to start the Slichot service right at 11 o'clock, which is what we said we were going to do. So that should give us enough time to have a break, get something to eat. I also want to say that if you have, I think we've all been involved in a certain way, but I think Pam really spearheaded this project, and what I'm coming away with more than anything else is a sense of urgency about wanting to take this beyond just this room. It's a nice showing, but it's not a packed house. And not that I have an ego need to perform this in front of a packed house, but I feel this sense of wanting to just do this, more and more and more. And so if people have ideas, suggestions for us about what we might going to do for this, maybe we want to expand it. Pam's original idea, by the way, was to have 100 voices in this piece.
Yeah. All interfaith, early morning dawn, working by torchlight.